Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this video, which is a review for Rex AccuSeason. It's basically an add-on package that changes the way seasons look throughout the year. There's various different options which I'll go through in this video, but various different ways you could have trees and foliage showing throughout the year. As you can see, different colours depending on what areas you're flying over, of course. You're not going to find scenes like this flying over New York City, for example. So depending where you're flying, you can have different ways the trees change. Yeah, and I'll go into that in this video. Now, you have to curb your enthusiasm slightly with this package. Actually took me a good number of hours. It's eaten up most of my day. This is the day of release for this package on the Rex website, and I'll link that in the description below. Day off release, and it's eaten up most of my day. There's so much I had to get done today, but I've been trying to figure this out, which I eventually have, and it's many thanks to RS Tough in the Rex Discord channel. He was answering questions left, right and centre, trying to help people, and he really has helped, so many thanks to him. Big shout out to him. Anyway, that's enough of an introduction. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so where to start with this one? Well, you've got these kind of snapshots that you can load in. So different situations and times of years that you can load into your simulator. Let's go to fall, and as you can see, as you go through the seasons, the colours change quite drastically. This is the fall, obviously more colour there. In winter you would have different colour, like browny trees. Or you may have some, if you read this here, some orange foliage and the occasional yellow tree as well. So different types of things. Now, I think a lot of us expected to see this when we got in a simulator. And we would see this kind of scene, unless you're flying over this area with exactly those kind of conditions. You're not. It's more about the foliage and the trees, the way they change. And that's what I meant before about curbing your enthusiasm. Basically what you do, let's go to settings. You would tell it when you start it. There's a lot of things with this that I didn't like. I had to register the product 3 different times. One on the Rex website to buy it. Then I had to go to another web page, which is their store. I had to create a username for that and put some more information in there, put my serial number in, and then when this loaded up, I had to re-input my serial number again. That could be streamlined, and I believe this is going to be released on the Orbix website maybe tomorrow or imminently, so that'll be Thursday the 16th, or imminently, which will be a much easier way to buy it. Or if you don't mind, it took me a few minutes to enter the details. If you don't mind all that messing around, you can do it then. Basically, you can tell it what version of Flight Simulator you own. Is it a store version, the Steam version? If it is, you'll tick one of them. I've got a custom folder that's on my E drive, FS2020, and that's where my community folder is. So I pointed it towards them. Any updates? You can either enable application automatic updates, which I have, or press update manually. Product is current. It's brand new, basically. And you can have like your tree settings here. You can have them short, default, tall. I'll go into this more when I show you what it does. Warm colours or neutral or round. Sort of tree canopy, round or irregular. That type of thing. And if you want to remove it from your system altogether, I'll do that now. You can just press restore and it will take it out of your community folder altogether. I can actually show you that. There's going to be nothing in here. That's where I've got my flight simulator on my E drive, FS2020 and community. You can see I've got no folder in there for AccuSeason because I pressed that button and it deletes it automatically. So if you don't want it on your system, that's the way to get out of it. There's also an option for automation. So basically, if you want to fly from place to place, you want a long flight, and you want to enable the season change as you go along, you would tick that. Or you can do a manual dynamic season change. So you would go something like maybe, I don't know, November. It will ask you to pick a week in November, so that week, and then it will install it. So this is now going to install it into the simulator, even though I don't have the simulator running at the moment. It will install it, so when I start the simulator, that season and that specific colours of the trees and goodness knows what will be in my simulator. I don't want that. I actually want to show you the default simulator first. So let's get on with that. Okay, so to start, I'm at Toronto City Centre. This is live weather settings, not ideal for what I want to show you, so let's just change those quickly to something like scattered clouds, maybe. Scattered clouds will be okay, because then we can see more of the foliage and trees around us. As you can see, pretty standard sort of normal trees as you would expect to see, and this is December. And you would think, well, trees are not meant to look that way in December. Actually, let's just throttle up and take off. Get back inside the cockpit and do this properly. So as you can see, some tree lines around us there. Choosing this area because there's quite a lot of trees and goodness knows what. And I'm going to show you other areas where there's more, where it's mostly trees or a lot more trees. So you can get a better look at that later in this video. But as you can see, by default, that's the way they look, and this is probably what you're quite used to as well. Even though it's this time of year, December, I've got the time of year set to December, rather. I wouldn't normally fly in external mode, but I'll try and control it in that just so you can see around. There we go. Yeah, so maybe not quite realistic, and you would expect a little bit of sort of different colours, certainly in the trees, maybe, you know, browny, grey, orangey trees. Well, you can do that. Let's just active pause that for a second. Get inside the cockpit. That was quite loud. And I can tab, Alt and tab, to get to my Rex AccuSeason, which I have running in the background. Say I wanted this kind of trees showing. So let's just get back to the sim there. I want them showing around me. Well, what you would have to do here is actually, okay, I want these, so I'm going to apply this, so that's cinnamon. I'm going to apply that to sim. You can choose here again, do you want warm colours, cool colours, neutral colours? Let's choose warm, shall we? Do you want short trees, default, tall? Let's choose some tall trees here. And I know a lot of people think the trees are too large, so they would go short. I can show you that later as well. The tree canopy, round, irregular, why not go irregular? Install. And this is the part, so let this install. Won't take a moment to download files, it only takes a few seconds, there we go. So this is real time. Installing files, any second. There we go, finish. Now people would have thought, well, why has it not changed? I've applied that setting and nothing's changed. Well, remember, you're applying now, if you choose one of those presets, a global setting. So if you want that to change in the sim, it's not going to happen. You're not just changing a small thing there. What you have to do is go back to the main menu and restart for that setting to apply. So we'll do that, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back at Toronto City Centre. If you look around, you can already start seeing the difference there in the trees and goodness knows what. Yeah, okay, that's autumn, but it's looking like it should do at least more this time of year. Let's get back in, take off. Did I not release my parking brake? I didn't. Okay. And I will show you other areas with more trees, which is where this package would really shine later in this video. As you can see, some of these trees look slightly bigger. That's because we chose, remember, taller trees and irregular canopies. Well, that's enough for a takeoff. Let's just trim up and then we can get back outside when we're nicely configured. There we are. So there we are, looking around there now. Yeah, it's looking more seasonal, shall we say. Well, certainly more than just having full, lush green trees around. And like I said, you can shorten them, change the canopies of the trees. You can customize it the way you want to see it. But this is now a global change. I've tried this setting in various different areas and it's the same in all areas. So remember that. If you want to get rid of that, you would go to your Rex AccuSeason and you can either restore, which will remove it altogether, then restart the sim, that will be back at default, or you can choose a different setting, different preset, or something different. Tell you what, let's just go back to show you more of that. And it's actually all very pretty. All very pretty indeed. Yeah, it would be good to do this on the fly, and I think a few of us were a bit taken aback that you just couldn't just select a preset, apply it, and it would just change it in the sim. But remember, if that's a global setting, that's a heck of a lot for the sim to change suddenly on the fly. So thinking about it makes sense to restart the sim. The idea is you would choose a setting, then go on fly for a couple of hours, not keep changing it. So I understand that. Well, listen, that's the tall canopies. That's what it... Say, I know a lot of people... Let's get back inside the cockpit. A lot of people don't like the size of the trees. So let's choose this one, Country Road. Let's go... I don't know. Well, let's keep it regular. I don't think that's going to change anything. But short trees. Cool colours. Let's try that. So I'll install that. Again, I'll let you see this part just so you can see how quick this part is. I guess the part that's going to get people is that you're going to have to restart the sim. But like I said, the idea is, I understand it now. I didn't at first, but I understand it now. There you go, that's installed. For that to take effect all around the world, yeah, it doesn't make sense to do it on the fly. The idea would, it makes more sense to go back to your main menu and then restart the sim. I'll do that and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back in Toronto city centre. As you can notice, the tree lines are noticeably shorter there, which is good to see. Let's jump back in the cockpit, go full throttle. Obviously on the other side there's still some tall trees, but generally... Reset my view there, get ready for a takeoff. Generally, yeah, you can see ahead there, noticeably smaller, shorter trees. That's because we changed them. So up in the air we go. Trim out. And then we can start turning towards this part and get external. Yeah, there you go. So if you don't like the tallness of trees for whatever reason, depending where you're flying, I guess some trees, you think, oh, there shouldn't be that many trees or that tall. It's a bit... The colours there are beautiful, by the way. I really dig that. I really think that's great. If you feel the trees are too much in some areas, then just shorten them. Maybe you can't get rid of them altogether, but you can make them less apparent, like so. Much less apparent here, as you can see. So there you go. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. As we're in Canada, I'm going to find a snowy area. I'm going to go to winter, and winds have changed. I'm not bothered about the scene unless you're in that specific area with those specific conditions. That's when you'll start to see it. All I'm interested in here is, I'll read the description. Winter has had mostly brown tones, some orange foliage, and the occasional yellow tree. That sounds fantastic. Apply to sim. I'm going to put the tree height back on default. I'm going to go warm colours for this one. Keep the canopy on irregular. Install. Let this install again. As you can see, this part at least takes no time to install. Installing files, there we are. Just a second, that'll be installed globally now, and don't forget, that's global. What I'll do, I'll restart the sim and find a snowier place. Okay, now Murphy's Law, trying to find a place where it's live snow, live weather. I'm in Winnipeg, and it was. but I couldn't see past the nose of the aircraft. And other places weren't playing ball either, so I've just put it on scattered clouds with a few inches of snow on the ground. Just to let you see. Let's trim out a bit there. There you go, so this is the, let's just show you that one again, the winter setting, which we just set there, winds of change, orange foliage with the occasional yellow tree. It's just, there you can see different colour foliage there, and trees. Actually looks quite pretty with a bit of snow on. Let's put a bit more snow on there, shall we? Literally is a few inches that, so let's double that if we can. There we go. A lot more snow on the ground now. As you can see, you've got different... I mean, a lot of the trees now are covered up by snow completely. But you can still see the colours beneath the snow canopy. Yeah, so you can get different effects. So that's kind of like the snowy area. If you're in live weather, and as long as you could see where you were going, if it wasn't thick fog or thick cloud, you can imagine that would look quite pretty indeed. And again, just to show you the difference there, so you can actually see the colours. Just put that down to a few inches of snow, a bit of snow on the ground. But you can see around you, you've got different coloured trees and foliage going on. And it just makes it feel more seasonal, more proper in that extent. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find now an area which will really show the package off in all its glory. And I'll come to my conclusion about my thoughts about it so far. And here we go as a showcase for this last part of this video. Just flying over an area, I believe it's more on the west side of the USA, with lots of foliage and greenery and trees. And as you can see, I've got nice colours going on there. So what do I think of AccuSeasons? Well, it took me a while to figure it out. It wasn't quite what I expected, to be honest. Let's just active pause that and go Alt Tab. I expected that when you changed in between each one, it would do it automatically. Now I've come to think about it, it's a lot for the sim. This is a global change, the presets. It's a lot for the sim to take in to do that. What you can do, in fact, let's just active pause that again. If you go to automation and you enable auto season dynamic seasons, that will actually work in the sim, I believe. So if you enable that, you may manually select and install the seasonal presets at any time. Put it on live weather and enable that, and go for a long flight around the world somewhere, or around various different places. I think going for a flight around the world is quite ambitious. You'll be at it for a good number of days. But if you go for a long flight through different states or across different countries, and then you see the seasons change and the trees change as you go, or tree colours change. That could be quite interesting to do. This combined with Rex Weatherforce, and I think that's just had a recent update. I do own Rex Weatherforce. I've not done a review. I've done a first impressions for my members, so if you're a member, go and watch it, it's in the top right. Not done a full review of that yet, so maybe combining that with AccuSeasons would be quite incredible. And if you're interested, look how pretty that looks. It does look pretty amazing. If you're interested, I can do a video on that. Cost me just around £19. It's $24.95, I believe, from the Rex website. So just around £19. Doesn't break the bank. It adds a bit of variety into Flight Simulator. Took me a while to get it worked out. I just wanted to do a first impressions, a quick review video, because there's not many up at the time of me recording this. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Is it something you'll be getting? Let me know your thoughts. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. That looks incredible. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.